Yes, it's a beautiful time to be alive. I usually say this, and when you talk about the current generation, where we are at and how things are moving, we know that the creative world is actually taking the waves, and we are busy trying to reconstruct where we fit in and where we plug in as a people. And the different generations, when you talk about X, when you talk about the Gen Zs, the millennials, when you talk about, we all understand the dynamics of creativity and then talent differently. And that is where we've had a series of these conversations talking about talent. And I know that most of you have enjoyed them. We've got enormous feedback from you telling us that, you know what, I didn't know that being talented is not enough if I'm not willing to put in the work. And then those that are just putting in the work and picking up the skills and working so hard at them, they are saying, you know what, after all, I also have the ability to make it in this world if I can put my heart to it and I give it my everything. So I feel like all of us are encouraged, and all of us are picking a few things to be able to incorporate in our own lives to be able to make it better. So tonight we continue with the same conversation together with the employers, together with the talent managers, together with people that have worked hand in hand with talented people, and people that have been able to nurture some of those talents and the headaches they have faced while nurturing those talents. And they will tell us whether they've given up on some people or they've, you know, still held on, and the tears that they've had to go through, all those things we're going to talk about. And we have Nabunjo in the house, the beautiful one, beautiful one. I know that it's going to be a lot of gems that she's going to drop, and so let's be keen on listening in. And then we have Team Sabiti. Yes, they are going to introduce, because I know they have a huge portfolio and huge kind of things they are working on. So they're going to give us a self-introduction, and then we'll just dive into what they have done with the world of talent, and then managing creatives, and being able to give us some gems of how we can be able to move forward. Yes, welcome. I'll start with the ladies. They said ladies first.
Thank you. My name is Dorothy Nabunjo. I work with Charism. We do talent management, and like you said, nurturing is really part of managing talent. The heartbeat, which most people don't want to do. Yeah. But then we also do so many other things. We also run an art gallery, so I still work with creatives. Those are visual artists, performing artists. Yes.
Wow, that's a beautiful place to live. But again, I don't envy you. The headache that you have to go through to put up some of these things, because then if you want epic things, big things, nice things, then you have to work with super talented people. And those that are not super talented and picking up skills, you're trying to put a fire underneath them so that they can also, you know, climb up. So it's quite a lot of work in coordination and you know, trying to piece all these things together. Glad to have you, and I know that we're going to be blessed. Yes, Tim.
Sabiti Timothy is my name. I am a businessman, a salesman for the last 20 plus years.
Who sells everything?
Apart from my wife and my mother. It's a blessing to be here and to discuss talent. I mean, it's a lot that really happens there. 20 plus years has been an interesting journey. So I'm happy to be on this panel. Apart from that, I'm a husband and a father. 2 boys, 1 girl. And people say I love my girl more, but I love my children, all of them. It's just that my girl is a special one because I made a special prayer before I got married, and I told God I want my firstborn to be a girl. And God answered.
So you have your girl.
So I have my girl. I love her so much. I love her so much. So I'm blessed to be here.
Yeah, glad to have you. Glad to have you. I know so many times I've called you a kingmaker. Like you, like tirelessly believe in people and people development, to the point at some point I was like, you know what? Yes, I'm also, for those of you that are watching us, he's also my mentor. So for the longest time I would be like, you know what, this believing journey, mine stops somewhere in the quarter. For you, you can go to 100% because I don't have as much patience as you have in king making and turning talent into, you know, full-blown talent and, you know, profitable talent. But I have seen that pay, but again, I've also seen that stressful, as stressful. So we're going to talk about all those stresses. But Number one, I would want us to dive into what do you think has been your biggest achievement in people development and talent management. What do you think has been your biggest achievement?
What a question. I'm like, wait, I never thought about that. But for me, my desire, and whenever I'm working with people, is I always tell my talents, people love you for your talent, not you as a person.
That's true.
So in that journey, I always want these people to stay human, to know who they are, and to stay connected to themselves and their families.
That's
Wow.
Because
To not lose them.
not to lose themselves, because we have lost so many talented people, so many creatives, because of the world, because what people tell them.
Yeah.
And I don't blame them. Let me tell you, do you know what it means to stand on a stage and everyone is screaming for you?
Yes,
I keep telling people, you do not understand this power. You do not understand because you haven't been there.
Yeah.
But I've experienced it. I've been with these people.
Yeah.
Someone stands, everyone is applauding, everyone is worshiping them.
And it gets on to you.
And let me, we are human. Just imagine your husband just tells you, oh my God, Hilda, you look so beautiful. And you're like, hey, the world has ended.
I know, I know.
Now you're looking at multitudes of people.
Yeah.
And so for me, I always tell them, for me, I think that's my biggest, I would say that's my biggest achievement. It's not in how many records you have got, how many money you have got, all those things the Lord
Staying
has
true to
who you are. Every time come
Being grounded.
It's true.
Wow. Now
That's true.
that is really, really huge. When you get to that place as a mentor, because again you become a mentor, like directly you become a mentor to them. When you get to that place as a mentor, definitely some of them will be like, you're wise, king. Like you've not gotten as much clout as you know.
Yeah.
You know, when they think they're
Yes,
up
they
there,
have
you've
been.
not gotten as much clout as, and you're like, you know what? I have seen people go up and I've seen people come down.
Exactly.
So calm down.
Yes.
You know, calm down.
I keep thinking about what you just said, and I'm wondering the kind of input, the kind of work you have to put in to get them to that place to appreciate who they are. Because I imagine this celebrity who feels is on top of the world
Yeah.
to feel no more at a certain point. I've dealt with talent. I've had opportunity to be with them.
Yeah.
I know them. They're very lonely, by the way.
Exactly.
Very lonely.
Exactly.
And what fills up that vacuum sometimes is everything else that does not help them to be who they are supposed to be.
Yes.
Wow.
Because then they create a world of impression, and they want to hang out in expensive places. He makes some
Live in expensive apartments.
Yes, he makes some money, maybe some 100, some 200 million. He wants to drive
The latest car.
the latest car, and within 6 months he's trying to sell it and no one is buying. So I keep wondering, I don't know, I mean, I wonder how you do it, because you're directly dealing with them. I deal with them, but on a kind of lighter note than you. I wonder how do you strike that? It's a question here that I've been having.
And it's important.
Because
It's
most
important.
of them, you know, it only happens, it's for a time.
Yeah.
You know, talent, the bad thing about talent, you can't stay on top forever.
It has a lifespan.
And
a
yes,
shelf
and
life.
it's very short.
Yeah.
That if they do not do enough groundwork, actually, if you're the kind of manager who is manipulative, you'll use them.
Exactly.
You'll get them to the top quickly.
Yes,
You will
and-
use them and drop them for another.
And that's what is really happening. But the call on my life, I would say I'm not here because I chose to be here. Nope. No. God clearly called me into this, and I did not understand why. And until I've walked this journey, because my company is called the Benevolent Love of God. That's what it represents. Like, we are supposed to love on people. We're supposed to represent God in everything that we do. And because of that, when I'm with these people, I'm love. This, I'll be truthful to you. I come and tell you, though everyone is shouting for you and all this, but this is who you are.
Yep.
You're doing this wrong. You're doing this right. You need to improve here. You need to call this person. You need, that ear
Stay connected.
that they have to listen to. And I'll be that person that is going to cry with you, is going to be happy with you. The person who's going to tell you, but it's okay. Let's try again.
That means you are more, it's a journey that you move.
It is a journey.
It's not just a one-off where you have to chastise them or rebuke them or applaud them, but you're like, when things are good, when things are bad,
I'm here.
I am here with you.
I'm that constant.
Wow. Exactly.
You'll find me, you will leave me. So if you go, I'm here.
If you
come
don't
back,
listen, if you run ahead of yourself, you'll still come back and find me here. That takes a lot of patience.
A lot of it.
Yes, it has been a work of God through me. Also, it wasn't easy. The first time I was like, okay, guys, we need therapy. I think I'm going crazy.
That's
I think, guys, we need, I'm like, oh my God, I think all managers need therapy. And I'm like, when I get money, I have to start a therapy, something for money. Because I'm like, you guys, you don't know what we deal with. Like, a lot of emotions, a lot of, and you're like, oh my God. But I thank God that we are here for them.
Wow. What are some of those things that talented people have done? Because I know I've dealt with my fair share of talented people as well, not on the upside like you are, but when it comes to behavior and how, like the normal day-to-day behavior, some of them are just not well-groomed, or if they were well-groomed, they just chose to throw the manners away and just and just show up the way they are, as in take me for who I am, my talent, choose my talent, don't choose me. It's like people who go to sing on Sunday and say, but listen to the lyrics, don't listen to the voice. You know those church people. Now, talented people, like for some of them are quite, they don't know what words to say, when to say them. Character-wise, they just say, they will say anything, not knowing that words go around, and they will come back to you, who is managing them, who is helping them, who is, and sometimes you pick talent from a place that is really, like from oblivion, from a very bad place. You try to groom them, and they show you that I will backstab you, whether with my words, whether with my actions. I will as in, what are some of those things? Because then at some point I thought maybe I was alone, until he used to look at me and tell me, welcome to the club. This is it.
No, I remember the times where she would go, she would have sleepless nights.
I know, because I'm thinking about this person. I'm like,
and I'm like, you did not create them.
I know.
Yeah.
So you can only do so much, and that shouldn't stop you from sleeping. Shouldn't
stop you from helping other people,
and then helping other people, because they're human beings. They're human beings, and we don't own them.
We
don't own them. We're only here to play a certain part, and once you've played your part, and your journey has ended with them. It's a lesson that I had to learn the hard way. That I, anyway, that question was to her.
No, to all of us. To all of us.
I got to that place where, because I've had opportunity to work with the best, and I usually say this, I say it in a joking way, that I would rather work with a person that is average than the so-called talented. I groom the average one.
Too.
And they're consistent. Surprisingly, they're disciplined, and they're serious. Now, when it comes to business, business is not a one-time thing. Business is consistency. And value is built over time.
Yes, that's
so
true.
What happens is this average person, by just showing up every day and being available every day, is giving you more value than the so-called skilled, talented. You understand, who only works when he wants to.
Even when he does something good, he does it once.
Because operations, business, it's an everyday thing.
Exactly.
Actually, it's minute by minute. So personally, I've got to that place where I don't get
carried away.
I'm letting you go is as easy as ABCD. And some of them, I've had scenarios where some of them walk into my office, and it's like, unless you triple my salary, I'm leaving. I'm like, give me your hands, let's pray. I release you right now. And at times the joke is on them. I did that one particular guy, came to my office and said, you know, I found a place, and you know, they're going to triple my salary. And I looked at the guy. I liked the guy. I loved the guy. He was good at what he was doing. Truthfully, I couldn't afford him. and I would not promise what I can't. But at the same time, I knew that this is a bad seed. Because I knew where he was going. Because it's a small industry, broadcasting is a small, I will know what's happening at my neighborhood. I will know how much they pay at my neighborhood. Because I mean, I can't live here and I don't research to know what my fellow broadcasters are paying their staff. So when you come to me and lie to me that they're tripling it, I know you're lying. Because I talk to your boss to be, your next boss. I mean, we have these chats, we have these conversations. So I will know. So I was like, this time the joke should be on this guy. So I told him, give me your hands. I want to pray for you right now. I knew his value on the market and I knew how much he can. So I prayed for him and he said, you could not even fight for me? I said, I don't want to fight for you because I want you to earn better money. So I'm releasing you now. Don't even give me a notice. Don't mind what the contract says. I'll pay you through the month, but you can leave as soon as tomorrow. And he was not going anywhere.
Wow.
He didn't have a job anywhere. So we have that and we deal with that every day. But as I said, it was muscle had to build over time. Before it was a hard
You'll
one
be like,
to deal
oh my
with.
God, this person is leaving. What
You
do
know
we
when
do?
someone is leaving and you can't sleep and you're convincing them and you're trying to get them to understand why they have to stay and blah blah, and all of a sudden they still leave. So I got to that place where with a smile, by the way, proper, give me your hands, I release you immediately. Please, do you want me to call the other guy to even recommend you? I can do it.
Wow.
Hey, and I go back home and sleep. This is God's work.
Yeah.
God takes care of it.
Yeah.
Somehow it will stand. So I shouldn't be God and the team. I have a wife, I have children. That one, if you're taking my wife there, I will fight. But if it's my kids, yes. But, that God brought. And I release them. So I don't know how you deal with it your side. Because again, with you, I keep imagining, most especially when it comes to talent.
I know, there are those superstars.
Not just superstars. The investment, the kind of investment that Nabunjo puts into that boy, if found singing in a choir or a band at a church and spotted that nice voice and is like, I think there's something I can do with this talent. Brings them, nurtures them,
invests money, invests
time,
moral support.
There's so much.
And all of a sudden he understands more than you do.
I know.
All of a sudden he feels like he's helping you. And you're like,
you are nothing.
Well, the things we had to learn along the way. When you start, you know nothing, you're just passion, excited, and then start happening. I remember what you've just mentioned. I went to one of the what we consider one of the biggest record label. Is it a record label? I'm not so sure, in Uganda. And he told me, like, Dorothy, I don't work with talented artists.
Okay.
Nope.
Okay.
I don't. I'm like, But then with time, I got to understand why he doesn't. And like you've said, you'd rather work with someone who's consistent. The people we have in Uganda who are trending in the creative sector are not the most talented artists.
That's true.
But they are very hardworking.
Yes.
Because they make up for what they lack.
Yes.
Oh, yes. Wow.
You see?
That's huge.
Because it's like a beautiful girl. I would not put in so much effort.
I know.
Like that, to look beautiful. Because I'm really good. When I wake up into the room, it's going to light up. Another person has to put on layers of makeup and put up all the confidence.
Well, do what?
So you don't put in a lot of work. And someone kept on asking, why don't we have the talented artists marketing, pushing themselves and all that? And we keep having this funny music, like that innocent, like, it's not that you don't have the money. Even these people don't have the money.
But
the effort. And the fact is, in business, talent is only 20%.
Yeah.
80% is business.
Yep.
Yeah. And I keep telling that to the people I work with, that guys, your talent is contributing only 20%. Only.
That means
always keep that at the back of your mind. That means you're irreplaceable.
Yep.
Like, we shall forget you, like, we should just remember, oh my God, this person used to sing by Yalagawa. And so the 80% is the work.
Hard work.
The business side of it. The work you need to put in.
The relationships
that you build. But you asked about the talent, their character. Let me tell you, like I explained, it's not an easy thing. Like, it's not. You look at people who get money, even who are not creatives. They say money reveals who you are.
Yeah. I know. Oh,
it just reveals who you are.
Yeah.
Like, before,
it amplifies all the bad.
Before, you are acting like you're humble, you're acting like you're respectful. Then when money comes, boom, 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 we get to know the truth.
Everyone is nobody.
Yeah.
So it's the same with talent, that when someone is still struggling, trying to make things work, they'll need everyone's help.
Yeah.
But then when they reach at a certain place, they feel like, no, I'm here. So I'm paying all of you. You're all getting off my hard work.
Not knowing that it takes a lot to connect.
So that is that's one of the misconceptions that they have. Yeah. That we are all benefiting from one person. But it's a collective, because without even that person dressing you,
if you don't have the backline guys, if you don't have,
it's a whole thing. But then also we, the people who manage the talent, sometimes we also don't grow. I keep telling, my talent can't outgrow me. I have to think forward.
You have to be ahead.
I have to be ahead.
Yes.
So the moment I see you're thinking beyond me, I realize now either I need to let you go, that I can no longer manage you, I can play maybe a different role.
Yes.
Because each time someone thinks ahead of you, you're always going to play catch up.
That's
true. Which does not work well.
As managers, we are supposed to think for the talent.
Yeah.
If I'm not thinking for you,
I'm not helping you.
I'm not helping you.
So if the talent is thinking for themselves and coming backwards to inform you as the talent manager, then that's not helping.
You've literally hired me to be something else. Actually, maybe like a manager. I may retain the title manager, but not the role I'm supposed to play, because my biggest role is to plan for your career.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean that you don't think, you don't have ideas, you do. But I should be in position to plan 10 years ahead. I should
strategically
have your 10-year plan.
Yep.
It doesn't matter what people see. Some people may think you're not growing, you're stagnant. But for us, when we go back to our plan, we're like, did we tick? Did we tick? Is there progress? Because what the people are expecting you to hit the ceiling, we know when it's going to come.
Yeah.
So sometimes the managers, we the people managing this talent, we are also not playing our role. We are not growing. And that's sometimes because of maybe the industry we're in, because it's not very professional. We don't have infrastructure. You're going to find the manager. They expect you to be the one talking to the DJs. They expect you to be the one doing PR. They expect you. Those are all things that are supposed to be done by
media management.
Those are things that are supposed to be done by so many people. And if you're one person, you can't produce results.
You can't.
You can't. And that is something also talent needs to understand, that when you want to work with a company or when you want to work with management, understand it's not one person to do the roles. No. The role of the manager is to lead all these other teams.
It's more like administrative.
Exactly, to make sure that you succeed.
That's very true.
So sometimes we do not play our role because we are embedded in the little things we are not supposed to be doing. And then you miss out on
You're planning out their makeup artists, what they should be putting on, what they ate, whether their rent is paid.
Please, get an assistant to
transportation.
To do that for you. Now let me think about, okay, do we have a song playing on radio?
Yeah.
Who is the best songwriter you can work with? Who's the best producer you can work with? Which collaboration? Like, as a manager, those are things you need to be thinking about. Which room should you be in? What's happening? Who should you meet at Spirit TV? Do you know Tim? Do you know Hilda? Because those are collaborations that will benefit both of us. We need to fly out. Who can we talk to? Like, as a manager, those are the roles we need to be playing. But then also the most important role, to understand your client, to make sure that they are not drilled. You're going to find managers, they're the ones providing cocaine, they're the ones providing all these things to them because they've understood their client and they're letting their client lead them. That's the difference. Now, the moment you let your client lead you, that's
They're
when you start.
misleading you.
That's when now you start doing the things you are not supposed to. Because
you become an assistant.
Because for me, when I'm
Start
looking
running
at you, I'm looking at you as a business. I'm like, I need to make sure your mental health is in check.
Yeah.
You're healthy enough to go and perform, because we know we have like 10 years, we have like 5 years for us to be, and we need to make money within this period of time. And please, this also applies to Christian artists. I know locally.
The thing is, I think that professionalism is taken out of the window, and then they start managing themselves and leading themselves, and then bumping into everything. Before you know it, they're closing down their career before the time even comes.
That's true.
Yeah.
And that's not right. And I think there are so many people who are also their talents, yes, but they have chosen to self-manage because they don't have character enough to stay under a manager or someone to actually help them. And those are some of the hiccups or the bad things that you people are meeting along the way when it comes to talent managing. Some of them do not have even the capacity to do the hard work. They know they're talented, but they're just not willing to show up. And sometimes they have a lot of excuses. I don't know. They have a lot of excuses, and then they lie a lot. Like, I think some talents just become narcissistic and toxic at some point in life. And yet, I have seen so many talents, and I think I just want us to wind down on this. I've seen so many talents that have gotten to the end of their shelf life, and it just happened all of a sudden, and you find them begging, you find them gnashing, you find them without anything. But during their years, they felt they were their guys. And then I'm just planting this into your head so that you can be able to talk about them. And then the monetization of their talents sometimes becomes a problem. You know, because then they are willing to go, but everyone wants me. They think everyone wants them. So all of a sudden, they're not willing to work with one person, be consistent with one person. They keep seeing all these other things and then underperforming. And before you know it, no one actually wants them. Everyone wants the average that they can be able to nurture and be able to work with them long time, instead of having you that is going to hype them just 6 months. And all of a sudden, you're going to see another person that wants you. And then you're off to a place that they actually don't know. And then sometimes they're very disrespectful. So very disrespectful. So I just wanted to throw these to you so you can think about them. When we come back after the short break, I want us to start right there, their shelf life, and how they get to the end of their career and become beggars and become gnashing, and yet the average ones now are raising and they are having a good life, and they're willing to put in more work and make sure that they work. I know that it's quite a huge headache, but talented people, yes, we're talking to you. And those that pick up skills and are able to work even when the world deems you average, you realize that you are the only one that can decide to get away from the basket of being average to the basket of being exceptional and excellent. And that takes hard work, but it's a process, and that takes you submitting to someone that is willing to walk with you, that journey, give you the reminders and be able to ground you. But that's not an easy journey. But I know that it can be able to, we can strike the balance and we can be able to work it out. So if you have a question, we have the numbers on the screen. Make sure that you send your questions through. And in case you have anything to tell us, you're a talented person, you're an average person, but you're really striking hard and working hard to make sure that you work through, please make sure that you get in touch with us. And when we do get back, we start right there.
Spirit TV.